Hello there. If you are live with us today, welcome. Today we're going into the topic about self-expression, the courage to be seen, and how this plays into your next level of impact, including business wins. You and I will be exploring how truth self-expression, which takes a lot of courage, by the way. You and I will be exploring how true self-expression and allowing yourself to be seen as who you really are, behind the masks, behind the facades, behind the accolades, really both accelerates your impact and creates the tangible wins that you're looking for, whether that's higher level clients or a much larger impact in the business that you have or that you're currently creating. So if you're here with me live, welcome, get comfortable, take a deep breath, and settle in. If you're here, you likely already have a good degree of success, but you've created the success created on the shoulds, the have-tos, who you're supposed to be, what you thought you had to do, and you suspect that your next level of impact has less to do with hard work and much more to do with shining as who you truly are, behind the success, behind the accolades. Guess what? You're right. And today we are going to unpack exactly this. My name is Ashura Eden. I'm a business oracle and spiritual integration mentor. I empower spiritually oriented CEOs, founders, and leaders to deepen their impact, leadership, and legacy. Said another way, because there's always another way. Said another way, the journey that I take my clients on is really about moving from a felt sense of spiritual fracture or spiritual brokenness or even ancestral trauma into the higher level of impact, the legacy level impact that only they can create. You can always find me online at ashuraeden.com. So if you're here live, say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Drop a heart, drop a little GIF, share where you're coming from, and feel free to introduce yourself. So there's a little bit of a personal story behind this topic, and I'm going to share that personal story, or a bit of it, and then I'm going to explain what's going on with this dynamic and perhaps get into an embodiment exercise with you. So in 2022, I was in a period of business stagnation, and a friend of mine suggested that I do something totally wild, something totally unleashed, something totally outspoken. And her suggestion was actually that I release a podcast called Fuck God. Fuck as in make love to / screw this whole thing anyway. I played with that for a moment and realized that wasn't the right path for me. But that moment in time morphed into a free event that I ran called Beloved. Instead of Fuck God, it became Beloved, and all about making love to the divine for your next levels with money and men. Not only did I go from $0 to $14,000 in sales within a couple of weeks by unleashing that part of myself, by revealing that part of myself, by expressing that part of myself, I had streams of people coming to this event. Why? Yes, I was self-expressing. Yes, I was unleashing. Yes, I was letting myself be truly seen. But more specifically, I was letting my freak flag fly. I was allowing the parts of me that had been shut off, repressed, taboo, to come front and center. And that made me visible to the right people. Now, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of business, in the grand scheme of leadership, in the grand scheme of impact, this is actually a relatively small win. And if I'm transparent, most of my clients are ahead of me business-wise, and they're working with me because I'm essentially their master healer. So in the grand scheme, this is a really small example, and most of my clients are ahead of me business-wise, and I'm in their worlds because I'm essentially their master healer. So let's talk about how this dynamic is playing out for you and how this dynamic applies to you. If you're here, you've likely created your success by being who you're supposed to be, whether that's the archetype of the good girl or the people pleaser, or going by the old one of, just working harder in business, just working harder in your career. Or you've even grown up in a family system where being shut down, we're not speaking your mind, we're not speaking your voice, we're not being you, got rewarded in some way. And either got you approval, or in certain situations, like educational institutions or career situations, actually took you to the next level of success. And then you continue to learn something like that. You continue to drink in, to take in, to absorb something like this. Good girls don't. Don't speak your mind. Don't feel your feelings. In the entrepreneurial space, this has shown up in some aspects of aspirational marketing. Not all of it, but in some aspects of it. It's shown up in some aspects of 6 and 7 figure strategies. Just do this thing and you'll get the result. Forget about yourself. Doesn't matter what you feel. Just hustle harder. Just do this formula. You'll get the result. This shows up in aspects of highly buttoned up religion. I know that I was raised Jewish, and while the Jewish religion as its own does not necessarily teach this, there was a lot of ancestral trauma in my lineage that went along with this, where it was like, don't speak your mind, boom, plays out in career. And then there's deeper programming around this. There's deeper programming around not being seen, not being visible, not expressing yourself. Whether that's from your family of origin or your family system. So if you're here with me on this, it's likely that you climbed the ladder, it's likely that you got really far, but you did it with a lot of conditions, you did it with a lot of shoulds. And of course, getting to your next level, creating your next level, receiving your next level comes from undoing a lot of these shoulds. So here's how this is playing out likely in real time for you. When you're not letting yourself be seen and by extent not self-expressing, only certain people see you. And they're not necessarily the right people, not necessarily the people that you want to be seeing you. They're picking up what you're putting down, right? Whoever's seeing you is picking up what you're putting down. But on a foundational level, you're not putting down you. You're putting down something else or someone else's energy or someone else's imprint. But you're not putting down you. So what's coming back, the result you're getting, I want to say this with humor, is like literally somebody else's result. So, and what this result can look like. So like I was saying, the result you're getting is not necessarily your result. Whether you're not making the impact you desire, or you don't have the level of money you want, or you're being visible to like the wrong people again and again and again. So here's the truth, here's the pivot point, right, that changes this. I'm going to back up. And what happens as a result of this is that some of you, not all of you, some of you are like, okay, I'm getting seen by the wrong people. I'm not making the impact. I need to try harder. And then you try harder and either nothing happens or you get more, but you get more of the same thing that's not quite right. So the truth bomb here is that this change begins with authentic self-expression. And authentic self-expression can be really scary. It has so much to do with disobeying the voices of conditioning, whether that's family of origin stuff or any number, or the voices of conditioning from any number of professional spaces. And yet, that authentic self-expression, and this is not something we can just talk about, it's something that has to be done in the body, right? And yet that authentic self-expression is the foundation of you being truly seen, which is why the title had both. The authentic self-expression is the foundation of you being truly seen, and you being truly seen is the foundation of you creating the impact or the business wins that you truly desire. So think of it, rather, feel into it like this. When you have the courage to authentically express yourself, your entire trajectory changes. This can look like deeper intimacy with the clients that you already have. You have deeper intimacy with them, they get bigger results, they renew. This can look like a higher ability to deliver within your containers, whether those containers are coaching containers, or maybe you're in corporate America and you're leading a team, right? And you want to lead at a higher level, greater delivery within that kind of container. And always, almost always, with this increased visibility comes more impact. It trickles all the way down the line. It totally trickles all the way down the line. I've had clients come to me and say, I want to write a book. I want to be a TEDx speaker. I want to be on stage. And I'm not sitting there with them giving them a million strategies. I'm not a business strategist. I love you guys, but if you want a strategist, you need to look somewhere else. But what we're starting with when they're coming to me with that end goal is, what do you want to say? Where are you not speaking your truth? Where are you not speaking your heart? Where are you not saying what's true from you, from your inside out? Them and I are starting with that to get to that end goal of that book, to get to that end goal of them getting on stage. It all starts, hi Haya, it all starts with the authentic self-expression. And I'll be honest, with the raw courage that it requires. I could talk about this all day, but this is one of those things that really begins with your body. So if you're with me live or on the replay, rather than talking about this more, I want to invite you into an embodiment exercise with me. So take a couple of moments here and deepen your breath. And just spend a moment getting present with where you are right now, where you are in your body, in your breath, in your experience of things. And just for a moment, think about whatever you're building in the world, whether that's your business or a corporate career, and the trajectory you're currently on. Make a little mental note, ask yourself this: if I continue down my current path, where am I likely to go? And just use that as a baseline. We're not keeping you guys there. We're going to go deeper. But use that as a baseline. Okay. And then take a few more deep breaths. And breathing as fully as you can, begin to bring your breath down through your throat. And then all the way down into your heart. And from that space in your heart, ask yourself this: what am I not expressing? Where am I holding back? Where am I holding back my truth? My voice? My desires? And if your body starts to move, that is totally welcome too. And then breathing down into your heart, feeling your body even more, because self-expression and being seen are both really embodied somatic experiences, not talked about it all day type things. How do I want to express right now? You're probably alone watching this live or on the replay. Ask yourself this: how do I want to self-express in a way that I might have been holding back right now? Is it moving your body a certain way? Is it voicing an unvoiced desire? I desire to be famous. I desire to be deeply seen. I desire to speak to 1 million people and change their lives. And voice that desire into the space that you're in. Say it out loud. Move your body if you need to. Speak your want, your need, your desire into the space. And as you do that, notice what arises. Notice if it feels amazing. Notice if something else comes up, like fear or shame or an internal judgment. I shouldn't want this. I shouldn't desire it. It's too big. It's too much. I shouldn't express myself this way. Maybe I invited you to express yourself and you realized you were angry or sad. And that's totally okay too. Maybe tears came out instead of a desire. That's okay too. Spend another moment expressing yourself and voicing your desire into the space. Or your fear if something else came up. Good. Now come back to yourself. Come back to this moment. And you should feel yourself in a slightly more expansive, open, receptive space after that exercise. And go back to the question you asked at the beginning of this exercise. from where I'm at right now in my body? What trajectory might my business leadership impact take? Same question. You're in a different state. Take a moment and feel into the probable outcomes. And then go ahead and write them down. You can compare later with yourself and see if this is any different than the response from the first time I invited you to this. Okay. So everything that I can do with you on a live stream is literally, I said this to somebody once, it's 1/10 of 1% of the transformation that you receive if you step into my private mentorship and work with me one-to-one. So anything you experienced here, any positive things, any wins, yay. It's literally 1/10 of 1% of the outcomes, transformations, changes you can receive if you do wind up working with me one-to-one. So I have an invitation for you. I'm inviting you guys who are here live or on the replay to apply for a Business Oracle activation call. These are by application. And if you are accepted, we'll get on the call and we'll explore. We'll be getting into, on these calls, what we'll be doing is getting into the dual path of where you are at with your own internal healing, spiritual healing, trauma integration, both of it. And we'll also be exploring where you're at on your own path of creating a legacy level impact in the world. And where you want to go with your own internal integration and where you want to go with creating that legacy level impact in the world. And how I might be able to help you build that path. So if you'd like to apply for one of those Business Oracle activation calls, I'll be putting the link in the comments the second we're done. Okay, my loves, I'm sending you love from Hawaii. I will be doing one of these pretty much every Tuesday. The time might be shifting a bit, but I will be here weekly on Tuesdays. Many good thoughts.